Are you experiencing trouble in love or searching for your true soulmate? Perhaps many of us desire a sweet love, a fulfilling marriage. However, in reality, we often encounter numerous stumbling blocks and sufferings. The path to understanding love, learning to love, is a journey filled with many lessons that help us grow. Rather than solely drawing experiences from love or from observations in life, you can enrich your understanding of love through classic books. There is a novel hailed as an encyclopedia on love. It's been praised by the New York Times as the most beautiful love story in human history. It's the first novel by Marquez, written right after his Nobel Prize-winning work. This happens to be the book he is most satisfied with, titled Love in the Time of Cholera. This book tells the story of a love that lasts over half a century. Ariza, a poor young man, deeply loves Fermina, a beautiful girl from a wealthy family. Their differing social statuses and economic disparities hinder their union. Fermina marries someone else while Ariza endeavors to improve himself to win back his true love. After 51 years of many ups and downs, they finally reunite. Isn't this a love story triumphing over the challenges of time, truly magnificent? However, behind this radiant love story lies the most brutal aspect of real life, something each one of us must contemplate. Love isn't just built on sincerity, it's also about the compatibility of comprehensive strengths. If both of you cannot harmonize, no matter how intense and passionate your love, it might slowly wither away over time. Hi, welcome everyone to Better Inside, a channel sharing comprehensive self-development insights through books and videos. Today, I'd like to share with you the essence of Not Good Enough, Loving Anyone is Pointless through the renowned novel Love in the Time of Cholera by the great Colombian writer Marquez. One, if you're not skilled enough, loving immensely won't resurrect your future. Ariza, the protagonist, is the illegitimate child of a wealthy and powerful transportation company founder. However, he's never acknowledged and kept in secrecy by his father. One day, his father suddenly dies, cutting off his financial support. Ariza is forced to drop out of school and work at the post office. While sending a telegram, he encounters Fermina. Her eyes inadvertently catches attention, making Ariza's heart flutter. To attract Fermina's notice every morning, he sits on a bench in her garden, pretending to read a book of poetry, constantly writing letters to her. He embeds tiny verses into the letters, like flower petals. At midnight, he stands near her house, playing the guitar to lull her to sleep. Gradually, Fermina develops affection for this young man, their relationship rapidly progressing, and Ariza begins proposing to Fermina. However, everything goes contrary to expectations. Because Fermina is studying, she gets disciplined and expelled from school. Her father storms to Ariza yelling, "Do not obstruct my daughter's path." In the eyes of a newly successful merchant with low education, his daughter is a trump card for the future. Ariza, however, is an unwanted child, a true obstacle. Therefore, Fermina's father uses distance to separate the couple, taking Fermina away from town. Nevertheless, no matter where Fermina goes, Ariza continues writing love letters to her. Seeing the inseparability of this couple, the father is eventually forced to give back the decision-making power over marriage to his daughter. After a long period of separation, Fermina encounters Ariza again, but now, in her eyes, Ariza is impoverished, unsightly, and decayed. A complete stranger to the white horse prince she once envisioned. She suddenly realizes that the love haunting her was merely an illusion. Therefore, she decisively breaks up with Ariza. In the book, there's a line that goes, "The weak can never enter the kingdom of love because it's a realm that's harsh and stingy, and women will only settle for men of courage because only such men provide them with a sense of security. They desire that security to face life's challenges. A tent, 2 golden hearts. Nothing is inherently bad. But someday, those involved may have to endure suffering from the realities of life." Ariza was intelligent and talented. However, his weakness at that time was like a nail that firmly pinned him to the bottom of society. Despite earnestly showing his sincerity, he didn't progress for many years, becoming a fatal blow to his love story. This holds true for many. When you like someone, you might throw away all principles to win their affection, just like sacrificing oneself to pursue their love. But eventually, when it's not reciprocated, you end up disappointed and disillusioned. Why is it so unfair when you genuinely offer sincere love to someone, but you fail to realize that the real issue lies within yourself? You lack the elements, you lack the expertise. No matter how much you love, that love cannot resurrect the future for both. Behind the veil of love, everyday essential needs are always practical issues. This is what anyone hastily in love or rushing into marriage needs to confront. Two, love is like a marathon race. After parting ways with Ariza, Fermina fell severely ill, experiencing nausea and diarrhea. Her father thought she had cholera, so he called Dr. Urbino to attend to her. As soon as Dr. Urbino laid eyes on Fermina, he was immediately captivated by her beauty. The father noticed this and hatched a plan. Dr. Urbino came from a noble background, was highly skilled in medicine, and besides saving lives, he was involved in welfare activities, greatly impacting the local community. If he married his daughter to Dr. Urbino, she wouldn't have to worry about life's necessities and would have solid support. So the father worked on it, and Dr. Urbino started courting Fermina. After meeting, Fermina felt that although the doctor wasn't overly romantic, he was well off and cared deeply for her, possibly a person worth entrusting her life to. Eventually, she accepted the proposal. Some say, marriage is merely an exchange. Each party takes what they need. Fermina's beauty and Dr. Urbino's charm accurately depict this saying. It's almost like an exchange. Wherever they go, just by taking Fermina along, her beauty would make Dr. Urbino the envy of many. As for Fermina, she no longer carries the identity of a merchant's daughter, but now is the respected wife of the famous Dr. Urbino, enjoying wealth and fame. But you know, every beauty must one day face aging. A face filled with youthful vigor slowly turns into wrinkled, withered leaves, and the once graceful figure no longer remains as light as before. At this point, it seems like the equilibrium in that initial exchange is slowly breaking. As Fermina grows older, her gracefulness diminishes. She becomes a housewife standing in the shadow of her husband. Household chores overwhelm her strength and energy. Meanwhile, Dr. Urbino's reputation grows. His vision expands. Then eventually, he loses interest in Fermina's aged face. He even engages in extramarital affairs with younger women. Although later he still returns to the family, now the couple experiences many conflicts, frequently arguing over trivial matters. Fermina had to spend the rest of her life in that oppressive atmosphere. In the novel Jane Eyre, there's a line that goes, "Love is a game, and you must always keep balance and equality with your partner for long-lasting affection. Because if one is too strong, it becomes exhausting, and if one is too weak, it becomes tedious." Indeed, love is like a marathon race. When two people fall in love, get married, they start at the same starting line. But deciding if they can reach the finish line together depends on each person's comprehensive abilities. If both have the same frequency and achieve balance, life will be harmonious. But when one isn't strong enough and the other grows stronger, the gap between them widens. Without enough tolerance, without enough love, the stronger one will take control in the relationship, while the weaker one becomes passive, accepting the situation. In the book How to Make Anyone Fall in Love with You by Lael Lowndes, a renowned expert in personal communication and romantic relationships, there's a highly crucial element mentioned for maintaining love: the principle of equivalence. It might seem illogical to measure love as if it were a commodity on the market, right? However, that's the reality. Researchers inform us that the happiest relationships are those that achieve a state of balance. The author lists 6 factors for people to base their partner selection on and maintain their romantic relationships: physical appearance, assets, status, knowledge, social skills, and character or personality. You can rate yourself and the person you love on a scale of 1 to 10 based on these 6 factors. Compare your scores with your loved ones to see if they are equivalent for each category. Even when we're not equal, the qualities and capabilities you possess that your partner lacks, or vice versa, can complement and balance each other, allowing both of you to readjust to what is called the equilibrium point. Therefore, remember that to run towards the same finish line, both partners must have equivalent endurance. 3. If the flower blooms by itself, bees and butterflies will come seeking. Back then, when Ariza felt heartbroken upon hearing Fermina was getting married, he was deeply saddened, refusing to speak, eat, or drink while shedding tears all night. Later, he learned from the painful experience and started making efforts to change his situation. He went to his uncle's company seeking employment, surpassing rigorous tests. Eventually, he gained his uncle's trust, becoming a key trainee at the company. Ariza's career started soaring like a kite in the wind, but his emotional aspect remained that of a wanderer without a destination. Because in his heart, there was always a place reserved for Fermina. Even after loving consecutively 622 lovers, keeping detailed contact information of up to 25 in notebooks, that joy was just a fleeting moment, as it could never replace the unforgettable first love. Hence, starting anew with Fermina became Ariza's sole goal for the rest of his life. Ariza took meticulous care of his body. Despite being older, he maintained energy and robustness. In his career, he excelled in everything with admirable abilities. Then, he also succeeded in becoming the chairman of the company. Wealthy, influential, and healthy, Ariza finally awaited the crucial moment: Dr. Urbino's passing. On the very first day Fermina became a widow, before she could wipe away her tears of grief, Ariza appeared. He expressed the love he had preserved for nearly half a century for Fermina, but she was furious and chased Ariza away. Certainly he did not give up. He took up his pen and wrote love letters, which to Fermina acted as a soothing potion at that moment. Finally, Fermina escaped the shadow of widowhood, following advice, deciding to board a cruise owned by Ariza's company. During this journey amidst the clouds and the sea, he created an unimaginable love. Detached from the world, the elderly couple lost half their lives, but eventually, they reached each other and rekindled the love from their youth. Some ask whether Fermina truly fell in love or not. If Ariza weren't as capable as he is now, but an old, poor, and ugly man suddenly told Fermina, "I love you forever," would the outcome be the same? The clear answer is no. In reality, Fermina would never choose Ariza again if he were still as weak as before. This is life's reality. She decided to board the ship with Ariza because at that moment, she knew that Ariza's love was deep and his strength gave her a sense of security. Planting a field of corn will certainly attract a phoenix. If the flower blooms, bees and butterflies will come. When you haven't achieved what you truly desire, the first step is to reflect on yourself. Instead of feeling disheartened or pessimistic, it's best to stay calm, self-improve through practical efforts. At that point, there's no need for clinging or trying hard to please someone. You'll be like a blooming flower, emitting an attractive fragrance that draws love and admiration. Love in Marquise's portrayal of Ariza is akin to the outbreak of the plague in America back then. It spreads easily. It can be lethal, yet it is also reborn. For Ariza, this prolonged pursuit of love spanning over half a century is akin to an obsession he cannot let go. In reality, what he obsesses over is his own past rejection. Only by proving his worth and regaining Fermina could he heal the pain within and truly step out of the shadows of failure, reclaiming the long-lost pride. Ariza's story resonates with many of us, loving someone wholeheartedly, giving everything to pursue them, yet feeling small, insignificant, like dust in the wind. Eventually, there's no escape from fate, facing rejection. For someone who doesn't reciprocate our love, we might exhaust our youth and passion, but receive no genuine affection in return. However, the issue always lies within us. An author once said, "Among all responsibilities in the world, the most fundamental one is to become oneself, to live with individuality and unique value. Don't pursue a horse when you aren't strong enough. Instead, spend time growing your own grass. When the warmth of spring and blossoms emerge, the horse will naturally be attracted." At both ends of the love scale, don't let your underdeveloped personality, abilities, or circumstances tilt you off balance. The premise of love is first becoming an outstanding version of oneself. Only by continuously pushing yourself to shine, to reflect upon yourself, can you ignite the love in your life. The better you become, the more naturally the person you admire will gravitate towards you. In conclusion, for the same problem, each person has a different perspective. For the same book, each person holds unique interpretations. Today's video is Better Insight's understanding and perception after reading this book, shared with all of you for reference and learning. Speaking of love in this book, personally, I didn't favor Dr. Urbino because he was unfaithful. I didn't favor Ariza either. Although he could hold on to the sentiment of a 51-year-old love, he could still be involved with 622 different women. I also didn't favor Fermina because ultimately, she didn't truly love her husband, nor did she love Ariza. She just chose the person she expected to suit her for a certain period. For me, this book isn't solely about love. It's a book that teaches us from realistically portrayed characters, helping us understand how to love, nurture, and build our own happiness. Before and while loving someone, no matter what, love yourself first. Learn to improve yourself. Because when you change, you become better. You'll have enough tolerance and know how to truly love. What we need to do is achieve a state of balance and maintain that in love. Balance is the best state to sustain lasting affection. I really like this saying, learn to become an umbrella. When you can't shield others from the sun or rain, nobody will cover you either. Remember, as long as you become better, everything else will gradually improve. To love others, learn to fill yourself first. How you love yourself is also teaching others how to love you. Let's hope we all become sincere individuals, using our excellence to experience genuine love in this lifetime. Thank you for listening. If you found this video helpful, please share it with those who need it. Support me with a like, hit the subscribe button, and turn on notifications for the latest videos. Thank you and see you in the next video.